Harry's Hiccups by Jean Little, illustrated by Joe Wiesman. Harry Shang and his friend Mark were playing a game when Harry got the hiccups. "Drink some water," Dad said. "Drink 9 swallows in a row without breathing," Mark said. Harry tried. He made it to 9 and then gasped for air. Hiccup! "You have to drink it upside down," Harry's big sister Eve said. Harry stood on his head and tried to drink upside down. Water flooded the kitchen floor. "Not like that!" Eve yelled. Harry's mother sighed and fetched the mop. "Watch me," Eve said. "This works like magic." Harry and Mark watched Eve lean over and drink from the far side of the glass. It looked easy. Harry tried it. He choked. He spluttered. Water went up his nose. You've got the hopeless hiccups," Eve said, patting him on the back. "I'm sorry, but there's no known cure." "A spoonful of sugar has worked for me," Harry's mother said. Harry got the biggest spoon in the drawer. He heaped it high with sugar. "Harry Shang, not that much!" But Harry had already gulped the whole spoonful. Mmm! He licked his lips and smiled. Harry's father was watching the baseball game. Go ask Mrs. Logan what to do. She loves giving people advice," he said. Harry and Mark went to the apartment next door and knocked. When Mrs. Logan opened the door, her twin boys ran out and took off down the hallway. "Catch them!" she cried. Mark and Harry found the twins waiting for the elevator. "Want a piggyback ride?" Harry said. "Yes!" cried the twins. When they got back to Mrs. Logan's, Harry and Mark were all out of breath. But still. "How do you cure the hiccups, Mrs. Logan?" Mark asked. "Hold your breath, Harry," she said. "As long as you can. That's what I do." Harry held his breath and held his breath and held his breath. He grew dizzy. His ears popped and his eyes bulged. "Breathe, Harry, breathe!" shrieked Mrs. Logan. Harry gulped in air. When they got back to the Chungs, Harry's mother said, Why not call Grandma? She'll think of something." Grandma laughed when she heard Harry hiccup. "A cup of tea helps me, but your grandpa always breathes into a brown paper bag. If one of those cures doesn't work, the other will." Harry's mother made tea while Harry found a paper bag. He put it over his head and breathed. He got the giggles. The tea didn't work either. Mr. Sanchez came over to watch the baseball game. He sat down and grinned at Harry. My mother dropped a key down our bags to stop hiccups. A big, cold brass key." "We'll try anything," Dad said. He found a big brass key and put it in the freezer for 1 minute. Then he dropped it inside Harry's t-shirt. Eee! Harry screeched as the key slid down his bare back. Mark had gone to ask his big brother's advice. He came running back to the Shang's apartment. "My brother told me what you have to do," he said with a big grin. "Put your head between your knees, stuff your fingers in your ears, cross your eyes, Stick out your tongue and hum Mary had a little lamb all at once. He says it's a sure cure. Harry tried it. So did Mark. But they laughed so hard that they fell over. Harry, give my weary ears a rest and go outside, his mother begged. Maybe fresh air will do the trick. Your hiccups might be contagious, Eve cried. Go, Harry, please. Harry and Mark went down to the little stream behind the apartment building. Harry sat down on a rock and shut his eyes. He felt very tired and a little sad. What if there really was no cure? What if he was going to keep hiccuping forever? Splash! Harry jumped. His eyes flew open. He swiveled around wildly. Then he looked down. A big green frog looked back at him. My hiccups! Harry yelled. They're gone! The Shunks came out on the balcony to see what the commotion was about. His hiccups have stopped! Mark called up to them. Everyone cheered. But Harry didn't celebrate. He stared down at the frog. Oh, you cured me, he whispered. You scared every last hiccup away. Thank you, frog. The green frog turned to hop away. It went. Harry laughed. Try a drink of water, he called after it. Try it upside down.